So it crept into our lives, and it's there everywhere, and it's happening all the time, and we all see it, and we all let it happen. And I don't think we even realized it happened. It just kind of subtly happened. They slowly turned it back on, and we had no idea. What am I talking about? Well, I'll get there. But TV, we all watch TV, right? We all watch videos. We all watch videos on our laptops, on our phones, on our big televisions we watch. We tune into network TV sometimes. We tune into cable. We have satellite cable. We have our apps. We have, the big ones that are out there, the YouTube, the Hulu, the Netflix, the Prime, the Disney, the Max. There's so many different things. And we have all this media. And it crept back into our lives again. It was beautiful at one time. But anyways, let me rewind. So I'm old. Back in the day, we had a television. So you bought a television set and you put in your house. Now, the television sets when I was a kid were these big things. They're huge, they're heavy. They weighed you had to have two people. You couldn't pair, they were like these heavy wooden, huge televisions. They were like 25-inch TV, 23. They were tiny TVs, like screen-wise, but they were so heavy and massive. Oh, you hated having to drag it out to the curb when you got a new one, because it was just, someone got their back hurt generally, or someone was crushing your toe because the thing was so heavy. But anyways, you bought this TV and you bought an antenna and you hooked it to the TV. And if you had a big antenna on top of your house, you picked up better television channels and more channels. And depending on where you at, you may not pick up that much. So you had a few channels, and it was all driven by, can you guess? Commercials. That's right. Commercials and advertisements. Television, that's what we grew up on. It was like you watched a couple minutes TV, couple minutes commercials, couple minutes TV, couple minutes of commercials. And that's why it was free. You had to buy your very expensive heavy TV, which they were pretty expensive. And you had to buy some rabbit ears, they called them, little antennas, or those big metal things on top of a roof that are still remnants out there. Those big looking things that look like, I don't know, big weird metal pieces come out on top of the roof. That was an antenna. And you picked up television. It was paid for by advertisement. And then cable television came along, and you didn't have to watch commercials on shows like HBO and Showtime and Cinemax, and it was wonderful. And then people bought satellite television, and you didn't have to watch commercials on there either. And then it went all back to commercials. You had to watch commercials. Even if you bought your cable television, so now you had to buy a TV, you had to buy a cable input to your house, and you still got commercials going through. So you had to pay for the product coming in, and you got commercials. Okay, so you had to pay for one other thing now. The cable. On top of your television you had to buy. And then the internet came along, and people decided to go towards devices. And the promise was, when you got Netflix, no commercials, wonderful, no commercials, you never have to watch commercials again. And they had Rokus, and you could skip through all the commercials, right through the commercials. And no one was paying for those free television shows that we were watching, but you paid for a subscription. And then overnight, commercials again. They're everywhere. On all my subscription services, a commercial. Now it's cheaper, granted, and I'm cheap. I'm not going to spend $100 for a service so I can get no commercials, but now commercials are everywhere. So to recap there, I have to buy a television. I have to buy internet to the house to watch that TV. You have to buy some type of subscription or cable service to watch those. And even if you buy a premium service, you're still going to get, and I say premium, the lower tier service, you're still going to get commercials unless you pay for the full price, no commercials, and it's really expensive. So it went from just buying a TV and having rabbit ears and watching TV with commercials to now you have unlimited choices. You still got to pay for it. You're still going to pay for your TV. You still got to pay for the internet connection coming in. And you get fed commercials. So who wins? Commercials. I don't know. Is it fair? Is it right? I guess commercials sells products. Is it products you want? Products you need? Or your kids are watching those commercials and they're wanting to buy these products that you don't want and you can't afford? I don't know. And maybe there's going to be a commercial after this video too, but that's what drives the world, right? Commercials and advertisement. And sometimes they're catered towards something you like. So maybe it isn't that bad. I don't know. Maybe advertisements do run the world. Maybe they do make us spend our money, but I don't think we're ever going to get away from commercials. Thanks for watching this episode of Blue Green's World.